I can go out and play in public. And then it became, well, maybe I'm good enough at this that people will actually like my music and not just, be polite to me for 10 minutes, which is basically what an open mic is. Everybody's polite for 10 or 15 minutes.
Yep.
Which is basically why open mics work. But, then it became, let's try more than that. Maybe I'm good enough to get booked for a show. Maybe I'm good enough to get booked for an opening act. And then, like I said in your opening question, it became maybe I'm good enough to get booked for these all-night performances. So it was a whole series of maybes and trying and seeing if I could.
Basically, you start with what starts with 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's an hour someplace, and next thing you know, it's the whole 3-hour evening or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, you have a website, it's domrocks.com, is that right?
Yes, Dom, that's my name, D-O-M. It's short for Dominic, but easier to spell. And that's something else that grew out of open mics is, when you go to an open mic, you have to write your name down on the clipboard. Especially if it's in a dive bar, somebody who's probably been drinking for a few hours and is in a dimly lit place that at the time, still allowed smoking inside, now has to read your name from a clipboard.
Right.
And so I would make it as easy as possible on people and, forget this first name and last name thing or even the full first name. I would just write 3 letters really big, D-O-M. And just about every host I had ever run into was able to...
They managed. They figured it out, right? No pronunciation issues.
Not really. Sometimes they would kind of look at it a little weird, like that's all he wrote down. I mean, some people would put down their full names.
Right.
Like, that's it, just Dom. And then I would say, yeah, that's me. Hi.
Well, did you ever have an incident where there was another Dom?
No.
There you go.
Another one that just wrote D-O-M down,
There you go. Or if you did, then it was, Dom Smith, and at least he had the Smith, so you knew it wasn't you.
Something like that, yeah.
It was good. Yeah, I think I didn't really consciously think of that as much, but I always did Nico because it was just so unique that nobody would really worry about the last name. I didn't anticipate another Nico ever walking into any venue for an open mic. And, given what you were just saying, I mean, I really pity anybody that would have had to take my full name down. I'm Greek, and the fullness of my whole Greek name sitting on an open mic sign-up sheet, they would have said, oh, good Lord, whoever this is on lines 2 through 5.
Yeah, well, I'm Italian, so it doesn't take up that many lines, but, people have a little trouble if they're not Italian with, the letters and... they see vowels and they just want to add more vowels, which is kind of strange, but it happens. So there was never any reason I thought to write down Dominic Scarcella on a list. I just wrote Dom. Unusual enough that it was pretty obvious who it was.
It was perfect. It worked perfectly. And so the website is simply Dom Rocks.
Dom Rocks, my name and then the word rocks, R-O-C-K-S. Simple enough, kind of musical, domrocks.com.
Now, I've got to ask you about hard folk. We've heard of hard rock, we've heard of folk, but hard folk, there's this dictionary definition on your site and in one of your CDs. Tell us about how that came up.
Yeah, it was a definition of a musical style that grew out of a conversation with someone who was a talent buyer for a venue and asked me, well, what kind of stuff do you do? Describe it to me. And it became me hemming and hawing and said, well, you know what hard rock is to rock? And she said yes. And I said, well, I'm kind of like hard folk. And it was kind of ridiculous to say, just as a phrase, but to my surprise, from the other end of the phone came, oh, that's interesting. But really, it is okay. I will use that from now on. So
there you go.
So I started kind of using it for people, hard folk. But like with anything else, if you create a term, then you run into the problem of you have to now put it in context for people and describe it. And so I was able to describe it to her over the phone, but then I had to describe it to other people. So I wound up just kind of putting the little hard folk, what is it, and why do I call myself that, half funny, half serious description into the liner notes of my CD and also somewhere on the website so people could read it.
It's unique. You don't hear it anywhere else. So, I mean, you could very well at some point in the future become the king of hard folk. Who knows?
You're the one. And my very, very small kingdom. And the funny part about it is, like you said, it's something you haven't heard before. I'm not one of those people who says, when they ask you to describe your music, I say, well, I'm original. I'm just so unique. I don't sound like anything else. Because I've heard enough music to realize that everybody sounds like something.
Right.
If you think you're totally original, you're either lying or you're a moron. I mean, everybody sounds like a little bit like something else. I'm not one of those people who thinks I sound like nothing you've ever heard before. I sound pretty standard for what a guy with a gravelly voice and an acoustic guitar and maybe a harmonica would sound like. You could probably predict how I would kind of sound if you saw me in a bar somewhere. You would probably say, oh, this guy kind of fits where he is. So I play, some rock, some folk, some blues. It's fairly expected and not the kind of thing that's groundbreaking from a sonic standpoint. So in the years since then, if I ever use the term hard folk, which is rarely, I will always describe it to people, because I don't want to come off as the guy who, thinks he's the only person in the world who's ever played a guitar and with a harmonica and, decided to, play it a little harshly.
Yeah. What basically inspires a lot of the ideas that you get when you are writing stuff?
As a songwriter, I'm very simple in what I do. I've learned over the years to stick to intuitive melodies, partially because of my own limitations as a performer, and partially because when you get right down to it, everybody wants to be, nobody wants to be known as totally derivative, or at least I don't, and the people I've met who try their hand at writing music, nobody wants to be, a total copycat or a totally identified with, oh, that sounds just like this other song, or you sound exactly like this other guy that, is famous. But on the other hand, there are reasons why popular songs are popular, and there's kind of a reason why the music that reaches the largest audience has things in common. So, I don't, on one hand, I don't want to be totally derivative and totally simplistic in what I do, but on the other hand, I like to stick to things that I would enjoy, and it's basically admitting, okay, I like some music that could be considered really simplistic and common sounding or anything like that, or even a little poppy or whatever. So I stick to simple stuff when I write. Lyrically, my ideas come from descriptions, places and faces, things that I can turn into a setting and a story, almost like telling a short story, a very, very short story that's only a few minutes long. That rather than the purely abstract stuff. So I'm more of a storyteller. And then it becomes a combination of trying to match the instrumentation to the lyrics and making sure they fit together. Because your music sets the mood for the song, and then your words kind of give the details, and they do have to fit together. So there's a process of bringing them together, and hopefully the finished product isn't too weird.
Right.
Music is a strange thing as a writer. On one hand, you're the creator, and on the other hand, because I don't work with any collaborators, I'm not bringing a song to a band. All those other people that if you worked for a band or if you worked in a songwriting group and you had people co-writing with you, you'd be bouncing ideas off those other people, and you'd get to listen to their reaction to it. Like, that's a good idea, or that's not a good idea, that one's better than the other one. I don't do that. So I kind of have to bounce them off of myself. And in order to bounce them off of myself, I kind of have to give the process a little more space and a little more time. Because, at some point I have to get over the fact that I'm the writer and kind of turn into fan mode.
Right.
Whereas if you were writing in a band, somebody might bring a song to the band and, they would play it, and the rest of the members of the band would be acting like the audience and saying, hey, do I like this? Do I not like this? Would I want to listen to this? And that's something that the guy who just wrote the song can't do very well in the moment. So I've got to compartmentalize myself in order to play those different roles. And it is something that I did see working for professionally in media and publication.